After one of the wildest, basically 18 hours in the market that we have seen in a while, the news headlines just keep coming out. The tariffs, the new sovereign wealth fund. Guys, we have a lot to talk about in this video here. We're going to be talking about this new sovereign wealth fund that obviously the United States is announcing, the price action of Bitcoin, the price action of XRP, and a couple of more pieces of news and some explanations on exactly what's going on in the market so that you guys have the best information going forward. So again, guys, if you guys do enjoy the type of information and analysis that I provide for you guys in these videos here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot, spreading these videos out to as many people who actually want to learn. And make sure you guys are subscribed so you never miss another video like this. And again, I always got to give a shout out to all of you individuals that are in the private community there. Obviously, going to be throwing up some more screenshots on the screen. What do you guys expect at this point? We print money every single day. Remember, guys, everybody gets their first month for 50% off with code TRADE with that link down below. It literally is only $30 for you to join, but remember, prices are going to be increasing at the end of February, so if you want to lock in that lower rate, make sure you guys do that then. Again, you guys get all the private live streams. You guys get all of the educational courses. There are 2 of them in there. You guys get the pre-market plans, the full watch list of stocks and cryptos that are about to explode before they do. Direct access to me to answer and guide you through every single element of the market, the macro research reports, single stock research reports. Again, I don't say this is the best place to come and learn to trade for no reason. I only have 5-star reviews for a reason, guys. So, all right, enough of all that. Let's get into this over here. So, first thing that we have to take a look at is, again, Donald Trump and the United States government have now announced a sovereign wealth fund. So this has been something that's been in the works for a while. Now, this isn't necessarily that strategic Bitcoin reserve that a lot of people were thinking about and really hopeful that was going to be announced in the first couple of days of the Donald Trump presidency. But what do we see over here? When we take a look at Senator Cynthia Lummis's Twitter account right now, she keeps doing this. She's very pro-crypto. She keeps hinting at some certain things here happening now. President Trump signs an executive order calling for the creation of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and you can see this is a big deal with a little Bitcoin symbol right there. So, thinking about this, again, there's going to be a lot more details coming out about this sovereign wealth fund over the next couple of weeks here. Over the next year is when this is going to start to get enacted. But when you think about this, is it possible for the government to start buying some of these different cryptocurrencies and putting them in this sovereign wealth fund? It absolutely is. Remember, there's already that World Liberty, and they've been going out and buying a lot of different cryptocurrencies there. And if you think about XRP in terms of market cap, it is currently ranked right now the 3rd largest market cap crypto right now. So is it possible? Yes. The one thing I will say, though, is I don't want anybody to ever really get their hopes up about one specific situation here. This might happen. It may not happen. Who knows? And again, I also want you to think about the actual implications of what this would mean. When you think about the banking system right now, and especially with those cross-border transactions, these large banking institutions are making significant money off of these transactions here, and they're probably going to fight and don't want to give any of that additional revenue up. So this is yet to be seen. But it is something to keep an eye out for. But again, just kind of as a whole, having this current administration here very, very pro-crypto is obviously going to be a good thing for the crypto space as a whole going forward. Now, let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, XRP, and a couple of the other big pieces of news from today before I send you guys on your way for this evening. So, as you guys should all know from watching these videos over the last 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, a month here, this prior all-time high zone on Bitcoin has been incredibly important. And what have we been talking about? Again, I walked you guys through exactly what was going to happen if we got these daily candle closes down below this 10 EMA here. We ended up trading lower, testing this zone here. We traded right into it. We held that very key 90,700 level and then immediately started moving back to the upside there. Now, one of the main reasons why Bitcoin, again, we can throw this on a little bit of a shorter time frame here. The 15 minutes started really aggressively moving up into the end of the day was as a part of this new sovereign wealth fund announcement here. So guys, this is a big deal. It'd be very interesting to see how this news starts to unfold as it starts to come out. But again, it's definitely just something to keep your eyes on right now. But again, guys, the zone doesn't lie. This zone does not lie. Again, I've been telling you guys, until we get some candle closes down below that 90,700 area, you don't flip bearish on Bitcoin. Okay, so Now we can take a look here a little bit over at XRP. This is an absolutely wild candle here, guys. We did talk a lot about where we could potentially trade down to, but again, it's very difficult when, especially in the crypto space, when you see these giant liquidation candles here. I know a lot of you guys have seen the numbers of how much was liquidated out of the crypto markets in really the last kind of 24, 36 hours here, and it has been a significant amount. And when we see these giant liquidation candles, I'm not telling you what to do here. None of this is financial advice. Usually when we see these big types of liquidation candles here with these big tails and these big wicks, usually means there's a little bit of bullish price action coming, but again, nothing's guaranteed, and there's no trade setup for me right here at this point anyway, so I'm not going to be doing anything on this one. But what I want you guys to understand is having an understanding of where price could potentially go makes, especially for a lot of you guys that are holding these for the long term, it makes it a lot easier to kind of stomach a lot of these crazy moves. What have we talked about recently? Well, you get this daily candle close below the 10 EMA, you are most likely going to trade back down into this zone here, and that's exactly what we saw. So if you guys were prepared for that, mentally prepared, watching these videos and understanding what we were most likely about to see next, again, that move really wouldn't have scared you all that much. So where could XRP go from here? Again, with these types of aggressive candles here, you easily could see the buyers come up, step back up on this thing. You did see, honestly, a little bit of a more moderate liquidation candle here back on Monday, January 27th. But in order for me, obviously, to want and look for another trade setup on XRP, again, I'm going to need this thing to flip back above that daily 10 exponential moving average, start to consolidate, break out of that range, and then potentially go for some of these highs here. So that's what we're going to be looking at. To me, in my opinion now, again, I think kind of the worst right now in terms of that initial crypto sell-off is going to be behind us. As we're going to talk about in a minute here, obviously we do have a lot more of this tariff situation going on and to see how that is going to unfold. But we did get a really big development today. When we come over here and take a look at this post from Truth Social that Donald Trump did post, I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariff for a 1-month period, during which we will have negotiations headed by the Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. So what does this mean? Well, the tariffs aren't going into effect. Everybody that was freaking out over these Mexico tariffs over the last basically 3 days over the weekend, they're not coming out. So they are delayed. We're going to see where this goes. You are seeing Mexico give in a little bit, and we are going to be getting some more of these updates coming out later this evening too, because we did have Donald Trump speaking to Justin Trudeau at 3 p.m. The comments from that seemed relatively good. We saw Donald Trump saying that they had a very positive conversation, and when asked about if the tariffs were still going to go into effect tomorrow morning, he effectively said, just wait and see. So we still have to see what happens with that tonight. It is possible that we do end up seeing that, but I know at the end of the day, guys, a lot of people are upset about these tariffs and the way that Donald Trump is acting right now. And what I would say to all of you guys that are a little bit more either, let's say, offended or on the fence, we don't necessarily know what the mid to long-term effects are going to be of these tariffs. I have an idea. We've outlined that in a lot of videos. And again, I like to be very optimistic. I'm very hopeful that some of these new policy actions, if actually put into effect, are going to be really beneficial for the American people here and for the U.S. markets, which I think they could be over the next 8, 12, 14, 18 months here. So again, we're going to wait and see what happens there. But just kind of bringing it back to XRP here. Again, I kind of think the worst is behind you now. You're right back to that 270 area. Let's see if we can reclaim this daily 10 exponential moving average, and definitely keep an eye out for some more of those announcements regarding that sovereign wealth fund and maybe even that strategic Bitcoin reserve on what they are planning and putting in those types of funds. We already have an idea. TikTok might be placed in that sovereign wealth fund if that TikTok deal goes through. Again, guys, I hope you guys are ready for the volatility. You guys have seen it in like the first week and a half of this new administration here. It's going to be wild, but there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of money to be made. So for those of you guys that are hopping into the private community, welcome. You finally taken that right step forward in really taking control of everything that the market has to offer, not only just from a trading perspective, but from a broad market participant and understanding perspective. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you go down and hit that like button. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.